Hello students and welcome to week 2. I'm here with my lazy kitty in the background, Marley, to welcome you to another great week of work in English 550. Last week we had a great week getting to know each other a little bit, and you all did a fantastic job in the discussion exploring what makes a word, when is it a word, and sharing some of your favorite new words. I learned so much from that discussion. I do need to work on my slang, I think. The older I get, the worse I get at keeping up with that information. But as a teacher, it's pretty important to keep up. So I enjoyed that discussion very much. This week, as always, we have a lot going on. So I'll briefly overview our work, and then I'll devote most of this video to giving you some tips on your big project for the week, which is a presentation. So first, we have some reading in the chapter, which is very interesting. There's a great sidebar on mergers and the mergers of sounds. I thought it was very interesting, the discussion about caught, C-H-A-U-G-H-T, and caught, C-O-T, and about how so many Americans pronounce those words in the same way. I don't think I do. There's caught and caught. But I might be in the exception on that. Also, pen, P-E-N, and pin, P-I-N. Where I am from in Texas, those are the same. It's pin no matter what. And you just have context to tell the difference. Now that I no longer live in that area, I have separated those sounds more. So it's more pen and pin for me. But when I go back home, it doesn't take me long before everything's a pin. So it's very, very interesting to see those mergers. One I am very interested in that our text didn't mention was then, T-H-E-N, and than, T-H-A-N. To me, those words are very different. But I've noticed both as a teacher in Oregon and as a teacher in the Northeast, a lot of students mix up those words in their writing, and I don't know if perhaps it has to do with the merger of the sounds, that maybe they're sounding more similar to them, and so it's a little bit more difficult to separate them. And I don't know if this is the case across the board, but it's certainly been my experience in 2 regions in the country, and I'm wondering if you have noticed that as well. So some great reading this week. We also have our usual discussion, and you have a quiz on MLA. Please be sure to review the resources in our own online writing lab, and then in this announcement I will post some extra resources related to the online writing lab that I develop and run. And then I want to, of course, focus on your presentation. You do have a presentation due this week. You want to be sure to review the directions carefully, review the rubric carefully. This is a visual presentation. I suspect most of you will do a PowerPoint, but you don't have to. You have some options. You can do a storyboard, you can do illustrations. Prezi is my favorite, and if you like, I'll post a sample of a Prezi that I've done just to give you an idea. They're a lot of fun. They're kind of like zoomy, more interactive PowerPoints, so they can be a lot of fun, and the Prezi software is totally free. So that's a perk. Now what you want to do with this presentation is you're going to choose some of the concepts that we've read about. You want to pay really close attention to the module notes. That's where you're going to get a lot of information related to the presentation assignment. So you have to look at the way language changes either through combining, shortening, blending, functional shifting, reanalysis, so on, so that you are focusing on one of those particular terms. Once you decide on one of these concepts or terms, you're going to talk about this change or this shift, and you have to give evidence of it. So this means you have to look at older text and more modern text to be able to provide examples. Now to me, that's going to be the hard part of this, is to find examples from both older and more modern text to give you what you want. You may be able to do some Google searches with your example in mind or with your term in mind, but I'm guessing there's not a lot of linguistic sites out there that are going to just like provide you with examples of these kinds of things. I think you're going to have to do some digging. So you want to start now. Obviously, I'm not going to have the answers for you in terms of particular resources that you find for analysis. So you're going to have to do some digging, think about a concept or term that you want to cover, and then think about what you've read, where you've maybe seen some of that. And you can even, certainly for the modern examples, use writing that's on the web. In fact, I think that would be a really great thing to do. Of course, since this is a presentation, you're going to have to include visuals. You want to make sure that you document those, make sure that you have works cited. And I look forward to seeing what you do this week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, though certainly it will be a lot of work, so you definitely want to get started as soon as possible. If you have any questions about it, just let me know. I will be checking, of course, the general questions area every day. I am also going to create a discussion area that's just for writing projects, so that if you have specific writing questions, that's a good place for those to go. That way everyone can see the answers. So I will be building that today, and I look forward to another great week. Thanks, everyone. Welcome to week 2.